Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode 134, double shot number 70. Yes, my 70th double shot. And this time, not Batman this time. This time it's Daredevil's turn to get a spotlight. Okay, first up it's Daredevil volume by Mark Waid, volume 4, and this collects issues 16 to 21. Now, there is several stuff going on in here. For one thing, Daredevil just returned from Latveria, and he's having his radar sense repaired by Ant-Man and Iron Man, which is proved to be successful. There's also a standalone issue written by Mike Aldridge. It's an okay issue. But mainly the main story is that it's basically Daredevil versus a brand spanking new villain who still does not reveal what his real name is. He just disappeared because his back rate's very end. A guy called the Coyote. And it's also the first time since the first issue that anybody has seen the Spot. Yes. Oh, and the issues collected here, it's 16 to 21. This book is pure, awesome Daredevil. Yes. And the artwork by Chris Simone is fantastic. That's simple as artwork. Now, the artwork for issue 18 is way different. It just threw me for a loop of how different the artwork is. Yeah, it's just basically Daredevil versus the Stilt Man. Yeah, this is Mike Aldridge. I have nothing really against Mike Aldridge for most stuff he's done. Like, so sometimes his artwork does not fit books, but it was okay for one issue. But Chris Simon basically does all the artwork for this book. Mainly, it's also revealing that the Nelson Murdoch law firm is breaking up again. This happened. This is a cliche, hasn't brought up in years, but they brought it up again. But they don't stay apart for too long, and yeah. Oh, and also the Coyote. If you look on the cover, he has the ability to use his device to put a collar on people's necks and allow them to remove their heads. And the bodies still move. Yeah, and he smuggled people across the border, and a lot of them work without their heads. It's weird. And, of course, the Spot is, like, all over the place. And, of course, Spot does return in their book. I don't remember where it was, but after he hasn't seen... This book came out in 2013. He just showed up again just recently. So after this book, the Spot doesn't show up in any comic again for 2 years. Yeah, it takes 2 years to make the Spot to make a return to comics. Which is not bad. Because at this particular point, this was the first time in 2 at this particular point, it happened the first time in 2 years since the last time the Spot was even seen. And the Spot is a Spider-Man villain. Oh, and also, one thing noteworthy about this entire run for Daredevil when they get to the very end, I will mention some people who do not appear in this entire volume of this, but being long-time Daredevil villains. And overall, I give this book a 9 out of 10. It's really good. Next up, it's Volume 6. Excuse me, Volume 6. Volume 5. This collects issues 22 to 27. This book simply wraps up the main story, which is going to issue 1, who was behind basically sabotaging trying Daredevil's life, and it turns out it's actually Bullseye. Yeah. Bullseye. And also, one thing is other revealed in this very trade. Foggy's got cancer. Those who reading at the time already knew about this. And Foggy, I don't think he has cancer anymore, but he goes through chemo treatments. And also, Kristen McDuffie takes up Foggy's caseload while Foggy's in the hospital, which is a not bad idea because she's been a supporting character at this particular point. Oh, and also it's revealed that Bullseye, the reason why he's behind everything and how, like, you're probably thinking, how could he survive? He got stabbed by Daredevil back in Shadowland #1. At this particular point, it had been about 3 years since anybody's seen the character. Was it 3 years, or is it still 3 years? 4 years. Yeah, it's still 3 years. Yeah, it had been 3 years since anybody's seen Bullseye. I mean, I was a bit surprised to see him myself. Though after this, he does return to the pages of Elektra for the final issues of that particular series. But this book is awesome, just like the previous book. And basically, this wraps up everything related. Also, at the beginning, there's a standalone story, which has Daredevil take on the Superior Spider-Man. It's an okay, it's an interesting story, and this kind of basically happened at the end of the previous book, where where Kristen McDuffie's meet up with Daredevil, meet up with the Superior's Moment to try to have Daredevil come in for a psychological examination. Oh, and the reason why they're breaking up because Foggy found Jack Murdoch's remains in Matt's desk drawer. How weird is that? Even though Jack Murdoch's been dead for years. Yeah, it's weird. It was some kind of psychological evaluation, and the issues collecting here are issues 22 to 27. It's a 6-issue trade, which is normal length for a trade. The previous trade also collected 6 issues. Okay, when you have like 5 to 7 issues, that's a normal length for a trade. 13 issues is a bit much, but it's not a bad idea. That's not exactly normal length. That's like super length. That's like on a rare occasion you may get trades like that. This is the usual length. Not that bad of a length book, and I'll give you a sample of the artwork. Yeah, here you go. Opening page. Sample artwork by Chris Simmons. And there is 2 more trades after this, and this will conclude Mark Waid's run of his first volume on Daredevil. He is ending his run this very year. I think he's ending his run with issue 18 of this current volume, and Mark Waid is still as awesome as ever when he's writing Daredevil. And this book is probably one of the longest books he's actually stayed on. I mean, take a look how he stayed on Hulk. He stayed in the book for 2 years. Hornet, he stayed in the book for at least for like a year. This book, he's been in this book for almost 4 years. And he's written over 50 issues for this comic book. This is like Jeff Johns' length. And I praise him for that. The fact he stayed in this book for so long and making Daredevil awesome. And one thing about other writers, no writers would just ignore Daredevil's previous history or other characters. This guy builds on it and expands on it, introduces new characters, introduces new rogues for Daredevil. Not a bad idea, because he has a very small rogues gallery anyways. But Daredevil's around for years. And when it comes to Daredevil villains, who usually comes to mind? Kingpin, Bullseye, Stiltman. That's it. Mark Waid is giving him more villains. Oh, and also don't forget the Owl, his first reoccurring major villain in the book. But, yeah. Awesome. 9 out of 10. Get it. If you're a Daredevil fan, Mark Waid fan, I would definitely recommend also getting that too. But just get all the books from Mark Waid for his either individually or trade-wise. Okay? Alright. That's it. Stay tuned whenever I get a chance to episode 135 of this particular show. Until then, see you there. Bye.